work in a vape shop in Oma. That's what it is. That's what the dream looks like. And I was there the day, right? And this woman came into the vape shop. Now, she told me her age and her name. She was like, how's it going, Pat? That's it. By the way, if you saw her, bang on. How's it going, Pat? My name's Sylvia. I'm 75. Been smoking 40 fags a day for the last 40 years. And I'm looking to get on a wee vape kit. And I looked around and I was like, Sylvia, see if I was you, I'd just ride this thing till the wheels fall off, Pat. You ain't gonna stop the lung cancer now, doctor, you know? You should, if I was you, I'd be doing heroin. I wouldn't be, what are you gonna start doing? You gonna start vaping strawberry kiwis at 75 years old? You need a time machine, bitch, is what you need. What was worse, COVID or the Spanish flu, you know? But I'm moving to America next year, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous about it, you know, because they're different people. They are, you know, they're just different people in every way you could think of. You know, like Americans have this thing, which is self-belief. It's disgusting to be around, to be honest with you. Like, I have a friend who's doing a degree in politics. One night we were hammered in a Taco Bell, and he turned to me and he goes, you know what, Aaron? I put my head down a couple of years, work real hard. You're looking at the future president of this country right here, man. See the way you sniggered? He meant that. Like, that was his dream. Like, there was no guilt or shame or imposter syndrome. I was like, what is in the water here? Because Ballygowan wouldn't do that to you, you know? And, like, I started thinking about, here's what home was like, right? I remember one time my dad picking me up from secondary school, right? And on the drive on the way home, we watched a bus pull in to the Oma bus depot. And I turned to my dad and I was like, Dad, I think I'd like to be a bus driver when I'm older, you know. And he turned to me, and I'll never forget this, he turned to me and he said, you need to get your fucking head out of the clouds, is what you need to do. You're up in La La Land. Come back down to reality of the rest of us when you fancy it, son, you know? You're watching too much of that 90210 bullshit, that's your problem. Like, I'd never met an American bro before. You know, I'd seen them on films, couldn't believe that that's a real person, right? And I remember meeting my first one last year in New York, and he was a friend of a friend, met him at an after party, right? So I gave him a chance, you know, and he saw me and he goes, what's up, dude? And I was like, well, bye, and the two sound bites just kind of caught each other in the air like a Japanese anime. It was amazing, right? And this is how he introduced himself, right? He goes, what's up, man? My name's Danny, but my boys call me Danny Creams. I was like, well, I'll be calling you Daniel. He heard my accent, right? He goes, yo, man. Yo, seriously, man, where are you from? Like Switzerland or some shit? I was like, no, lad, I'm from Tyrone. And he goes, oh, you're Irish. Okay, I didn't catch that. And I was like, all right, any reason for that? And he goes, oh, it's just like, you know, I know a couple Irish guys and you're pretty, like, well-spoken. Being told I'm well-spoken by this living fuckwit, right? That's like being told by a pedophile you have a strange taste in women. You know what I mean?
So I'm from West Belfast. Yeah. Lanadoon, to be specific. Now, usually when I tell people that I'm from West Belfast, there's a wee bit of disbelief. You know, I can even see some of the faces here looking, fuck, he doesn't look like he's from West Belfast. But that's the thing, see, when people see me, they think that I'm from, like, some tropical, exotic place and not Lanadoon, you know? A couple of years ago, I was in a wee minor car incident. Somebody's made call it a hit and run, but I don't say hit and run because of Christ didn't tell her. I got out and went, love you, all right, any damage? She went, no, my neck's wee bit sore. All right, no sweat, jumped in the car and drove home. But this wee friggin' toot went to the cops, made a statement, and in that police statement, she described me as looks foreign but sounds local. But And sadly, my mother passed away when I was a child, so I ended up going up to West Belfast to live with my granny Mary. And when the neighbours seen there was a wee brown kid moves in with a middle-aged white couple, they just jumped to their own conclusions. Here, to see Yemen's in number 47. Adopted a wee child from Africa. Partly Father Devlin got it all sorted through Troca. You know, people always think, "Yeah, you must have experienced loads of racism growing up with your grandparents." And no, I didn't, because when I was growing up, racism, there wasn't enough minorities for racism to even be an issue. So the big ism that we were dealing with back then, and still now, is sectarianism. Catholics hate the Protestants, Protestants hate the Catholics. They just can't get along. And for some reason, and I don't even know if Protestants know this, but when Catholics are being derogatory about them, they call them black. I was in my mate's house one day. See me Bryson come up on the news, and his dad was like, "That's a fucking black bastard, Dad." Now, I don't mean anything against you, now, Thomas.
I turned 37 last week, and I don't know what happened. I swear to God, like, I was doing okay, like 35, 36, 37. I was just looking in the mirror. I was like, do you know what I mean? I look like someone put toddler's clothes on a rhino. I'm like, sorted out here. Because I have to dress it up a wee bit, you know what I mean? I'm a large, bald man, so my default look is like loyalist paramilitary leaving the courts, you know what I mean? So I have to dress it up with a few hats and glasses, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like if I was on the front of the paper, just like out there. You know? Was arrested for dog fighting. Oh, I'm married, would you believe that? I'm married, and I actually have a child as well, would you believe that? They let me reproduce, and interesting time recently, my wife was like, we got a toilet train, this guy, right? My son. And I was like, sweet, how do we go about that? And she's like, well, the obvious way is, you know, he's got to watch you go to the toilet. And I was like, interesting. And in my head, I'm like, I piss in the sink. But it's gonna be a learning curve for both of us here. You know what I mean? Here's what I didn't expect, right? The guy is hypnotized by the stream of pee. Can't stop. Like, I mean, he wants to see where it's coming from and also where it's going, you know? So this guy, his body language is like this. He's kind of like... I've never been more self-conscious in my life. I'm standing there like, I swear to God, out of nowhere, he's looking at the stream of pee and he goes, can I touch it? Like it's here. And I'm like, bro! I'm trying to kick him over my own piss. Like, I'm like, it's dirty. And he's like, dirty. And I'm like, yeah! And of course, for no reason at all, I'm pissing for like 2 minutes straight. You know, I've never pissed longer in my life. My fucking calves are shaking. I'm like, come on, quickly! And he's still there, fucking. And then he hits me with some absolute like mind melter existential question. You know, he's watching the pay and he goes, do you like it? Right? I nearly fainted. I was like, what? Like 37 years I'd be pissing. Not once did I ever stop and be like, I fucking love this. I love this. This is going in the gratitude journal. You know what I mean? Do you know what's mental? We had to get this guy christened recently. Guy's 3, like. My son is 3. My wife's like, we still got to get him christened. My wife goes, you need a christening candle for a christening? And I was like, brilliant, where do I get that? And she goes, you have to go to a holy shop. And I was like, okay. We've all heard of a holy shop? A few heads, you know. If you haven't been to one, bro, you know what it is? It's basically where Christ sells his merch. T-shirts, cups, hats, you name it. But I rock up to this place anyway. Like I've never been to any religious establishment ever. Avoided everything. And I pull up outside the holy shop, screech up outside, jump out in a pair of shorts, go in there. 2 nuns working. And I'm like, well, lads, I need a christening candle, whatever that is. And she sets it out, big candle, and I reach in my pocket. I'm like, what's this going to be, a £5? 25 quid, bro. I was like, actually, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Like, anyway, the christening comes around, I've never been to fucking chapel in my life. I've avoided it my whole life. I go in there. I'm in charge of the old candle, right? So, because it's 25 quid, so I'm gripping it on, you know what I mean? My child is running into traffic, but I'm like, fucking, don't let this candle hit the floor. And anyway, we're in this chapel. The priest is 110, like the oldest man I've ever seen. This is post-COVID. He's still wearing the old mask and everything. And he waves me up, and I've got the candle, and I go up, and he gave me some sort of instruction, He was like, the Lord Jesus Christ. And I was like, good man. And then I didn't know what to do. I was just walking around with this candle like it was at the opening ceremony of the Olympics. I was just like, I was looking over at my wife like, am I doing a Catholic? Is that what I'm Didn't know what the hell was going on. And then it comes around, the actual, the christening bit of it. I don't know. And my son, by the way, going mental. They're like, bring the child up, and I pick him up. He's like a live pit bull. You know what I mean? He's just like, I'm trying to hold him still. I get him up to the thing. Like, he's not normally like this. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to hold him still while the priest does the spell to him or whatever. He's still going nuts. And I swear to God, this is what a priest said to my face. My son's going mad, right? And he goes, yes, this is why we normally christen newborns, so they don't put up as much of a fight. I was like, can anybody hear this guy? What the fuck? I was like, priests are getting out of hand, man. Jesus. Aren't they? Priests are like gun laws in America. You're like, how many more kids are going to have to get blasted in the face before they do anything about this? Yeah. Yeah. Get it, Indians.
Are we feeling good? Thank you. Thank you. Oh, rough time to be a fat chick, am I right? Lizzo just really screwed it for us, We were doing good. We're doing good. People were starting to think, I could date a fat chick. I could do it. But then, Lizzo giveth and she take awayeth. She really just, I can't even be mean anymore. If I slightly raise my voice, people are like, whoa, 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 pipe down, Lizzo. Pipe down. But I moved here 2 years ago. I'm loving it. It's a great country. You have a beautiful country. You got a little bit of white-on-white crime going on here. And I'm all for it. Keeps me out of the mix, But I have friends from each club, if you will, Friends from each club, and they're really trying to get me to join their club, all right? Which I don't even know if that's possible, but they've been bringing me to different social gatherings, social clubs, paramilitary bars, and they haven't really convinced me. I have not decided to be a Protestant. I have not decided to become a Catholic. However, I have become an alcoholic. Anybody see the Barbie movie? I saw the Barbie movie, right? And the premise of the Barbie movie is how you play with Barbies in the real world is how the Barbie world is made, if you will. So I realized I could never go to my Barbie world. And that is for a couple reasons. Number one, all my Barbies were hand-me-downs, okay? We didn't have a lot of money. And so they went from really nice homes to the hood, all right? These are some gang-affiliated Barbies. Second reason that I could never go to my Barbie world is because they were hand-me-downs, I didn't get to pick them. So I wanted my Barbie to look like me. So I just colored her a little. So my Barbie world's just a big minstrel show. Whole lot of blackface happening. Harmless.
Yes, my name's Conor Keys. I am from Omagh, County Tyrone. Obviously, being from here, I love religion. Yeah. I don't believe in any of them, but I love the peace and harmony they spread throughout the world. Fantastic. I'm not going to go with religion. I know a lot of people. It means an awful lot to some people. I think there are certain things about religion we should keep. There are certain good things, you know. Nobody ever, like prayer, for instance, nobody ever prays for anything negative. So that's something we should keep. Nobody's ever going, dear God, let it be syphilis. So we keep that. What I don't understand is the basket being passed around on a Sunday morning. Somehow God needs our money. Yes, he's the all-powerful, entire creator of the whole universe, but fuck, he's got a big overdraft, boys. You see it all the time, don't you? No matter what denomination, some priest or reverend's always stand with a basket. And you're like, oh, what's it for this time, Father? Oh, son, it's for the roof. What happened to the roof, Father? Rough weather over the years. You're like, oh, okay. So from what you preach, God did it? He vandalized his own home, but I have to pay for it. I was like, ring the insurance company. I did, son, I did. What'd they say? They said it was an act of God. Well, if they know he did it and you know he did it, ring the fucking police, you know what I mean? And unless there's a few chips in that basket, slide it on. But parents in the room, give me a cheer. Okay, a couple of ones, just most of the energy just drained out of them. I love kids when they're at, when they're at that real young age, when they're in primary one or whatever, and they're really innocent and they're full of questions and they just, there's no malice in anything they say, they're just genuinely curious, My little nephew recently started primary one there, and do you remember in primary school the one thing everybody wanted to find out is who's the oldest in the class? Who's the oldest? When were you born? When were you born? When were you born? And he's in that phase, at the moment. And he came in a couple of weeks ago and he goes, Connor, did you know I'm the second oldest in my class? And I was like, oh yeah, I suppose, yeah. I was like, who's the oldest? And he said, the teacher. And the wee look on his face as if to say, who do you think, fat man? I was recently doing a primary school summer raffle thing because the career's going very well. And this little kid came up with his mum and he wanted to thank me for the whole event. And he poked me in the belly and went, you've got a fat belly. And the mother was mortified. She was like, oh, I'm so sorry. She's apologized. I said, listen, don't worry about it. I said, he's just being honest. There's no malice there. I do indeed have a fat belly. You should harness that and cherish that because that's going to leave at some point, Another wee child come up with his mum and he poked me in the belly and went, you're not funny. And I was like, teach that fucking child some manners.
Thank you very much. It's lovely to be here, guys. I'll get straight into it. I'll tell you a wee bit about myself. My name's William. I come from a wee place called East Belfast. Yeah. And that's my dad. Thank you for... I'm joking. I don't know my dad. But people never believe me when I tell them I'm from East Belfast. They say I sound too posh to be from a council estate in a rough area. But there is a reason that I sound so posh. It's because I'm disabled. I suffer from a thing called cerebral palsy. It's a disability that can make my muscles tight, can make it difficult to move when I'm tired. I'm aware I don't, it's not visible. Some people always ask me, it's like, are you actually disabled? Or you just make that up? Like, be a weird flex if I did. It's like, you actually disabled? No, I just say that for the fanny. That's how I chat up women. I go up to them in bars and go, I might not see 45, back to man. But when I was younger, the cerebral palsy was in my jaw. It affected how I spoke. So my mum took me to speech therapy, where they taught me how to speak clearly. They taught me to be more articulate. Ironically, I can't say that word. They taught me how to talk England good, right? But it worked too well. I now speak too poshly for where I'm from. I don't know, so people still bullied me for that. I know what you're thinking, William, why would you get bullied for that? Why would you get bullied for learning how to talk properly? For learning how to talk as though you don't have cerebral palsy? Why would you get bullied for that? And the answer to that is very simple. If you have ever been to a council estate in Belfast, you know that everybody sounds like they've got cerebral palsy. I go back to my old street and they're like, and you know, doing your fucking, you know, you wanna eat. You think you're funny enough, you think you're funny, Tell your dad was asking about him, good lad.